What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about disposition change with God, basically. And first link, the truth to read, and other links, Walk with God course, donations, and one-on-ones if you want to talk to me in private. So dispositional change is basically changing your inner spirit and nature essence, in a sense, the way you are. And outward behaviors are like acting morally nice, etc., etc., pretending to be good. But the disposition is your true inner self. It's that, like, it comes out when God orchestrates, for example, an environment for you when you ask guidance, right? And how you feel in that environment. Do you become negative? Do you resist and blaspheme and condemn God for these environments, or get very negative over it, because of God orchestrating this for you? Or you find yourself in an environment that doesn't fit your notions and imaginations and the way you expect things to go? Do you get very angry at God for that? And that's where kind of your disposition shows up. Are you rebelling against God? Are you submitting and loyal to God? Are you not? That's where your disposition is shown, and that's where you actually need to work on your disposition. And that's what God shows you, is like where you have not undergone transformation. You're just pretending on the outside to be submissive and loyal to God and to care about God and to know God, but you don't actually know God because you haven't read enough of the truth or prayed to God or really sought dispositional change. And that's what actual where peace and joy actually comes from, is that inner change. When you are able to be loyal and submit to God, do your duties to God, do your calling to God that He has called you to do, and to be able to not complain about God, blaspheme, etc., condemn, not resist and be rebellious in these orchestrations and different circumstances you find yourself in life, and not basically crying over everything that happens that's like could be considered like bad in a sense outwardly in your life. Like, nothing is inherently like there are of course bad things like bad parents and so on, but like growing up in a bad environment or something like that, but and better and good environments, of course. But nothing God orchestrates is without a reason for you. Even if you were to get persecuted for your faith, there's a reason for that. And it's also to see if you could stand firm in your testimony to God and stand firm in your faith and not betray God. Like, these are the things you need to understand. And that is true dispositional change also, is when you are able to stand firm in any situation, right? That's really what it is about. It's like, has your disposition inwardly changed to the point where you are peaceful and joyful and, able to at least resist the flesh, and rebel against the flesh and whatever thoughts come up and things that are negative against God. Are you able to actually, have you gotten that type of dispositional change to the point where you're able to kind of like live out this life with God and totally be loyal and submissive to any situation and work with Him in your duties and whatever? That's where you've changed. And people might say you're more peaceful, but you can also pretend outwardly to be peaceful. But as soon as a God environment come, the environment where it exposes you, and you're in that environment that exposes you, that's where like your disposition is shown truly. Like, what are you on the inside, not on the outside pretending to be. Something triggers you to be negative, or triggers you to, like, in a sense, stop to kind of think like, do I still feel negativity? Maybe I still feel a lot of like lust, but I'm pretending outwardly not feel it. Maybe it's like regarding like pride or being selfish, or not kind of shirking responsibility or something like this. It could be a lot of things. These are the kind of dispositions we have. Chasing status and stuff like that without maybe even realizing it that you're doing it, and being kind of selfish. Like, these are the kind of things we don't notice, but we think we're being loyal to God and submissive to God, but then we still have all these negativities and things in us, and prides and whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what you need to understand about changing your disposition, what changing your disposition actually is compared to just outward behaviors. Your outward behaviors you might be able to pretend for a while, but once God orchestrates the perfect scenario for you to break, that disposition of whatever it is for you is going to come out of you. Even if it's not just negativity, it could be just like pride or something like that, or willfulness or something like this, comes out of you. Like, you're not actually willing to submit. Like, these are the things that God tests, and once that comes out, you need to understand, have the self-awareness to realize, I still have this disposition. I need to read the truth and pray to God and clear this out of me If you notice yourself, something comes up that you know is like a bad thing, you're like, maybe you're chasing too much like status and pride and lust or whatever it is for you. Maybe you're just not living life in moderation with regards to, I don't know, food or whatever. There's a lot of things that could come out of us that are like sins and whatever. So you kind of have to discern what it is for yourself. But God exposes us always and what's inside us truly, not what we are pretending outwardly to be, because God looks at our essence and innate nature and innate intentions inside us, not what is on the outside that we're pretending. We can pretend to other people and nobody would know, but God will know and it will expose you and that thing out of you. So I hope this video helps you understand what dispositional change actually is and what happens when you change. I haven't specifically made a video on this, so I thought I would talk about it very briefly and help you see clearly and explain what it is and how you can understand if you've actually changed dispositionally. And this requires, of course, self-awareness and self-knowledge and reading the truth and praying to God and whatever circumstances you have in life. But if there's a will, there's a way. See you in the next one. Amen.